I'm Esther Stapleton-Stone, and this is In the Boardroom, and my guest today is Gemma Miller, and I'm so excited because Gemma is my cousin, and I'm so proud of Gemma. So Gemma, please share where you grew up.
So I grew up in Croydon, and we lived in Thornton Heath, and I went to school on the outskirts of Croydon. I went to Croydon High Girls' School, and then eventually we moved further out into Shirley, and then my family moved to Purley, and then I've moved further out into Surrey. So yeah.
So how would you like the transition into the bit of the rural countryside?
Oh, I love the rural countryside. So my grandparents, I'm Jamaican. My grandparents, our grandfather, he lived in the rural countryside of Jamaica, and I've always loved it. My grandmother, however, she lived in town, but her garden was humongous, and it was like the country in the back garden. So I love being rural. I have no street lights, I have no pavement, I have a farm behind me, I have a lake in front. It's great.
Oh, yeah, sounds absolutely idyllic. Oh, I think I'll need to go and visit soon.
More than welcome.
So where did you go to university, and what did you study?
I went to Roehampton University, and I studied primary education, early years, Key Stage 1, specialising in science. So I wanted to specialise in science. I really enjoyed sciences when I was younger.
Oh, I thought you studied like something like business. I didn't realise.
No. I was going to take off my mum. And she was a high school teacher, so I wanted to do the primary school.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So I'm learning everything about my cousin today.
Yeah.
So, okay. So please can you share your business journey?
Okay, so my business journey. My family have been investing in property since the 80s. So since the 80s, my mother and my aunts, they have been investing in property, buying like flats and houses and doing them up. So as a child, I used to go and help them. My job would be to paint the skirting boards and paint the spindles on the stairs and things like that. Whilst they did it all themselves, they did the DIY. They hung wallpaper. They laid laminate flooring. They made curtains. They did the whole shebang. The painted walls, everything. And I grew up in that. However, when I got my first job, my mum asked for a percentage of my salary. So every month, I just thought it was for housekeeping. All right, I just thought it was for housekeeping. And then every month I would give my mum some money, and I'm thinking it's for food or whatever. However, when I was 21, just before I had my eldest son, who's now 19, my mum basically saved all that money, and then she doubled it. And then I bought my first investment property when I was 21, which is an ex-council flat, which I still have.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you know what? That is something so really good for us to teach like the next generation how to save money.
Yeah.
And do it in such a natural way that they don't really realise what's happening.
And that's it.
And then it's not such a big thing, and it seems such a natural progression to owning property.
Yeah.
That's
so good. My family are very big on generational wealth, and they're big on saving. Like my mum, when I was younger, we never had much money at the time. This is before she qualified to become a teacher, and she was a student. And she used to buy my unbranded school uniform from the local charity shops, and she used to save quite a lot. And then my grandparents, being Jamaican, there's a thing called partner. It's like a partnership. And every month people would put money into a pot to the banker, who is like a special person they've appointed. And they would, that's how my grandparents were able to buy their first property in England. So saving has been a big part of our property investment journey as a family. From like my grandparents did it, my aunts and my mum did their own kind of saving, and my mum did mine. A bit cheeky, to be honest, because I gave the money not really happily, but I'm thankful now. Thankful now.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
So what are the benefits of running a family business as a CEO? Because you are now in charge of the family business. So how is it for you?
So, at the beginning, it was quite difficult in the sense of they always wanted me to be involved. I was young, I was partying in Mayfair and I did the whole thing, so I wasn't really paying attention. Like, my only issue was making sure everyone paid the rent, because that's what I used to pay. But as I've become matured and become older and I have more responsibilities, trying to get them to kind of let go, because they can see that I am serious about it and I am no nonsense. It's great. I have more freedom just in general because I work for myself. I don't have to answer to anybody. I can spend more time with my own family, which is lovely. I can travel. I can do anything that I want because, like I said, I'm my own boss, so I don't need to do anything like that. Goodness, like it's great. It is great. That's the advantage. And what I do also, I have a WhatsApp group. So I set up a WhatsApp group, and in this WhatsApp group, I kind of headline any, like, the property or whatever the subject is, and then I write what's in there. So I do that every day, and I update the others, what's going on, what I've done today, what's going on with each property and so on. And they know, and that's all they need to do is just look into the WhatsApp group, so they don't have to ask me, because then I have to repeat it 3 times, and I do not want to repeat it 3 times. So if they want to know anything, they can just go into the WhatsApp group, see what Gemma's done, and yeah, so everyone's happy. Everyone's happy now. It's great.
Brilliant. So would you recommend to any young lady, black or white, whatever ethnicity, would this be something that they could encourage their family to start doing?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Firstly, I'll say where you can get your funds from. That's the initial thing, because obviously it does take money. So you need to decide where you're going to get your funds from. And if you will do like joint partnerships or ventures with like close friends and family members, you can do that. You can get contracts signed, everything. Just make it all above board, everyone feels safe. And then you can put your money together for a deposit, and then you all can invest in one rental property, and then you can move on from there. So I would definitely encourage others that you can do it.
And would you say you can have big ambitions, but to start small?
Yes, you can have big ambitions. I still have big ambitions, but my family started small, and even me individually, I started small. Definitely, you can. You can.
And some people are like, oh, well, I don't want to start small. I just want to get lots of people investing in me, and I just want to like a massive portfolio. What are the risks if you just go big, quick?
Okay, so that's 2 things. Firstly, yeah, you can always have a massive portfolio, but you won't get very far if you don't do your own research. You need to do your own research. You need to have your own property education. Like, obviously, I invest in property, but in any business, you can't just go and be like, I want to be big, I want to be the best. You need to research it. You need to have education on it. With I can only speak about property. With property, there's so many different things online, resources online, on YouTube. There are online magazines, online subscriptions. There's so many different things you can learn. There's like short courses you can take. There's network meetings you can go to. There's so many different things. Like, you need to start small. I would you can always dream big, but you need to start small so you know exactly which route you're going to take. Because with everything, there's always risks. So you just want to kind of minimize your risks by doing the amount of research that you need to do, educate yourself, and then go for it. Like, definitely go for it and be consistent with whatever you're doing, and you'll be fine. Like, I have faith in yourself.
Brilliant.
And have faith in God. Like, have faith in yourself. Like, you have to back yourself. Yes. And then I know that this is what I'm going to do. Like, every year I say, this is what I want to achieve this year, and you just work on it. But I write it as if I've already done it.
Yes.
And then we go from there.
Brilliant.
Yeah, yes.
And it's so important to have a vision plan,
Yeah.
and to have goals,
Yes.
and to know what you're aiming for.
Yes.
And I think that's so important in business.
You have to set your vision. You have to know your goals. Because if you don't know your goals, what are you working towards? Like, you need to have your goals so you know what you're working towards, and then you surpass it. But even if you set your goals 10 times what you want, like, anything twice the times of what you want is even better than not even setting a goal in the first place. So you need to set your goals, have your vision, know exactly what your plans are, and work towards it. But you need to work towards it with the knowledge and the information and the education that you can match the 10 times that you want, So yeah, that's how you do it.
Do you know, this is such a great conversation. And I think I'm learning a few things here, because I haven't got any property at the moment that I've kind of invested in, but I think this is something
You can do it.
that
Everyone
sounds
can.
quite intriguing, something that I probably would like to do.
It's
Start
also
small.
it's about like I know I just said everyone can. Not everybody probably has the means, but there are ways that you can. But you have to start small. And I understand also that in this climate, like it is very difficult for people to have the spare money to go ahead because they have to pay their rent, and then after that there's not much left to try and save to buy the property. I get that, but there's different ways that you can try and have another stream of income or multiple streams of income. Then you can or work with others and see what you can do, and just start. You need to kind of the treats that you have, you need to just bring them down. And I'm not saying, don't. What I hate is when people say, don't have that coffee. That one £4.50 coffee from like a franchise. That's not going to make a difference to your deposit. Like, have your coffee. But what I'm saying is just be mindful of what you buy and try not to waste things and try and save your money and just be a bit more mindful. You can still enjoy yourself, but be a bit more mindful, I think.
So what kind of supports did you get from your family when you took over the leadership?
Okay, so the support I got. Okay, so like I said, they've been doing this since the 80s. So I have been around it like since I was a little girl, since I was about 2. So I've been around this all my life. So the support I got, like I had from them, as I was growing up, they would always talk to me about property, and I'd be always in the conversations, and I would always be in the room with our mortgage broker, and I'd always be involved. It would be in the background. It was background noise, so I always knew things. My support that I get is that, like, my mum and one of my aunts, they're really into it. Obviously, they've taken a back seat now, but they're really into it. So I basically, any question or anything I'm unsure of, I will ask them, and they are more than happy to offer me advice and help. But yeah, like anything I want, like a question, but they're very supportive anyway, and they cheer me on. And like if I'm doing like a refurbishment, or if I'm converting, at the moment I'm converting a 2-bed into a 3-bed, a flat, and I didn't tell them about it. And I just went ahead, my tenants left last week, and I went ahead and started the works. And once it was all like it's being done, then I sent the video round to the family group, and not the family group, the WhatsApp business group. And that's when they're like, oh, Gemma, I didn't realise we would have bought more. And I'm like, yeah, like it's things like that. They support me and they encourage me and they're proud of me. And I'm thankful. I am,
So what is your advice to someone who's been in the property industry for a long time, and they probably think that they can't really learn anymore? What are the benefits of being teachable, even when you're established?
Do you know what? You think you can't learn... Saying that you can't learn anymore is ridiculous, because there are always new regulations and new legislations out, and you need to keep on top of them because you'll get into trouble. So you always need to know new things. You just need to read, educate yourself. Like every morning I see my property investor news feed comes up, and I read what's happening at the moment. It's like talking about Section 21s and the new rent reform laws.
What is a Section 21?
A Section 21 is an eviction notice.
Right.
Yeah. So
okay.
Yeah. So like if at the moment it's not been passed in law yet in Parliament, but at the moment there's a thing called no fault eviction, and that's Section 21. So if you just want your tenant out of the property, you can serve a Section 21.
So, for instance, you're selling the property, you not just want to just get rid of them.
Yeah. If you're selling the property, you can serve it. At the moment, if you just don't want them in there, you can serve a Section 21. Hence the rent reform laws. They're trying to say that you can't just be getting rid of someone because you're effectively making someone homeless.
Right.
So that's where these new laws come in. Yeah. So you have so many different regulations and so many different legislation that you need to be involved in. Like I just said, the Section 21. So there's things out there that you need to keep on top of. And I really enjoy going to network events. At one point, I had a mentor.
Oh, that's one of the questions I was going to ask you, actually.
Oh, really? So I have a mentor, and it's quite funny because, like, when I started becoming in charge of our company, I actually just had Callum. And my mum and aunt went to a networking event, and they saw someone there, and they were like, "Oh, Gem, that he's having an event, like a networking event in London. Do you want to go?" So I was like, "Yeah, of course I'll go." Because they said they'll look after the baby, so I was like, "Right, I'll go in the morning, then I'll leave, and then I'll go shopping." That was the plan, because I'm in London. That's the plan.
Yes.
So anyway, I went in my my jeans and stuff. I just relaxed because I don't really dress up like that. And I went to the room and I said hello to everybody. And it was quite a busy room. There's about 80 people in there. I sat in the back middle, and it was quite funny to me because I wasn't really into the business as such. Like I said, I always hear the background noise, so I wasn't really into it. And they were encouraging me to take over, and I was like, yeah, I will do my own time, but I'll get on to it, doing it properly. And I realised that I knew quite a lot, and I surprised myself. I was able to answer all the questions, even people, because I don't look very old, and I probably don't look like I knew what, because I had my big earrings on, and and I don't think the people around me thought I had any clue. And I was able to answer all the questions. I even went up on the stage and I did a little kind of role play thing, and then I was really good. If I should say for myself. And then I actually stayed. I stayed for the whole day. And then on the way home, I was like, oh my goodness, I want him to mentor me, just to help me systemize everything and kind of get everything, because my mum and my aunt, they are much paper people, as in everything's in a file, everything's in a file. There's papers everywhere in the office, loads of different files, and you have to flick through them. You've got files from the 80s, so you have to flick through it. It's ridiculous, and I just wanted everything to be on the computer and everything to be nice and systemized, so I can find them if I'm sending things to mortgage companies or whatever. I can do it easily. Everything's there for me to email it. And there's other things that I wanted to do, which I've now done, that this guy helped me, because my mum and aunt respected him and what he's done. When I said, oh, such and such said, you can do this, and this is how you do it, and blah, blah, blah. And because I've now told them that he has said that this can be done, they're like, oh yeah, fine, you can do it. But if I had said it on my own back, they would have been a bit more nervous. But because this guy is big in the game, they were like, yeah, sure. And that helped me tremendously. And I was able to start my own business separate to my family's business. And then it's working out really well. So, yeah. And with him as well, he really liked me. I stopped going literally during COVID. But I used to go to speak at his events. I used to go to, he had one in Knightsbridge, and I went on the stage, and I spoke to this room full of office workers, in the city of London, all talk, did all that, spoke to the crowd, and everyone was really interested in what I had to say, because I surprised myself. I didn't realise I knew my stuff, so that was really good. And I did it a few times. I went to one in Maidstone and another one in another part of London. I did one in Croydon, because that was close to me as well. And that's really fun. And since then, they had the last Christmas event they had, I won an award.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. I'm an award-winning property investor.
Wow. So what's the name of that award?
Oh, the name of the award was a Property Investor Newcomer, because I was new to their association. Nice. So it was a Property Investor Newcomer 2020. No, 2019. Yeah.
Nice. Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, it's good.
So, public speaking is part of a development in business, because sometimes people are afraid to speak in public, and they're very happy to just be in the business kind of environment, in the office environment.
Yeah.
But sometimes owning a business sometimes calls for coming outside of the office and being able to communicate with people.
Yes.
So if someone's quite nervous about going into a big room full of people that they don't know, how would they overcome these nerves? Because I'm sure you might have experienced a few nerves when you initially went into this new environment.
Yes. So because that mentorship thing, that was once a month, and there would be about 150 of us once a month in this room. And my mentor used to call me up regularly to talk to everybody. And we would go do a thing where he would walk around with the mic and I have to talk on the mic and introduce myself and things like that. And I think he did it a lot because people wouldn't expect me to have the size of portfolio that I do have. I had it at the time as well. And they weren't expecting it. So he wanted to show that you can look and be anything and still do it. And you don't have to be flashy and you don't have to, have look like you're very, very studious and, so you can be done.
So Gemma,
Yeah.
property shows are on the increase.
Yes, there's lots. We love them.
And people are given insight into the checks that are required on certain shows. So what are the checks that are needed in the property world?
Okay, so
As a new starter
who has their property, it's been refurbished, you're handing it to the letting agent to find a tenant. You've now found a tenant. They're going to sign the AST, it's the short hold tenancy agreement. And the things you need to give to the letting agent are, you need to make sure you have the right to rent information and you need to make sure you have the updated ones. So they change them quite often. Well, not quite often, but they do change them. So you need to make sure that you can't just use the one you already have saved on your computer. You double check on the government website just to make sure it's the right one, correct one, I should say. You need to make sure you have an EPC, which stands for an Energy Performance Certificate. That needs to be done. And you need to make sure you have an EICR certificate, which is an electrical certificate, to make sure that the electrics in the property are safe. You also need to make sure you have a gas certificate, and that's to make sure that there's no leaking gas and that the boiler is working well. You need to make sure that once the tenancy agreement has been signed and the deposit has been given to yourself, you need to make sure that you protect the deposit. And you can use different software companies. I use TDS, which is the Tenancy Deposit Scheme, and you have to make sure that you give the tenant a certificate that also as proof that their deposit is protected. Yeah, that's it. And those things, you cannot rent your property without those things. You need to make sure just to make sure that the house is safe. Protected, the tenants are protected, so their well-being is protected. Their money that they've given as a deposit, which you hope to be able to give it back to them. Because if you're giving your tenant back their deposit, that means that they've looked after your home. And all you want as a good landlord is to make sure that the tenant has a clean, safe home to live in. That's what I want. I renovate these places, I refurbish them, I make sure that they're comfortable, they're safe, they're clean, the windows work, they're insulated well, everything's nice, no damp, none of that. It's clean, safe, warm homes for the tenants, because I completely understand that not everybody can own their own home. So you don't make anyone feel less than, you just make sure that what they are paying the money for is of good standard.
Love that.
Yeah, you have to. Not all landlords do that, by the way, but good landlords do.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Yeah.
And how can you, if I was a tenant, how would I identify a good landlord?
Ooh, communication, I think. My tenants seem to like it when I communicate with them. I am big on communication, and I am big on we WhatsApp each other. They are more than happy to some landlords you need to send me an email. Whilst me, I've got my phone. I work from my phone. I obviously have my emails there, but I have text and I have my WhatsApp, and they're more than happy to WhatsApp me anything, and I'm quicker to respond via that channel. Communication is very, very important. I don't leave people, I'll read it and I'll rectify what needs to be done. I'll let them know I've seen it and I'll sort it. I know that if it was me, I would want the same service. So I give the service I would expect, Yes. So I wouldn't want tenants to feel like they've sent me a message about, I don't know, a leak in the bathroom tap or the toilet's not flushing and water's just pouring, because it's costing them money because they have to pay their utility bills. So I will make sure that I fix and say, I'm so sorry, I'll get someone around there as soon as possible. And then as I'm telling that, I'm having a conversation with my plumber and said, can you get around to blah, 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 blah? Because then they'll be like, all right, and my workmen, I have like an amazing tribe of people who I work with. And they're so good. And then they're like, all right, no problem, Gemma, tell them I'll be round at blah, blah. And I'm like, okay. And then I'll send the tenant their number and I'll send the number to the workman or the tradesperson, whoever it is. And then they will communicate with each other. The tenant always texts me, go, oh, they've just left, thank you so much. The builder or the tradesman will be like, I've just finished, here's your invoice, I'll email it to you. So it works out really well. But I think communication is very, very, very important because nobody wants to feel ignored and no one wants to feel that no one cares. And I'm very big on periodic inspections also. Right. So I let the tenants know when they move in that I'll be visiting them every 3 to 4 months, just to make sure that they are looking after the home, because I've given them the home and it's been newly refurbished. I want it to stay that way. I think it's just respect, yes. So I want it to be a home, so I don't care if I go there and it's messy, because if it's messy, that's fine, that's your mess. But if I go there and there's like marks all over the walls and stuff, I'm like, oh, you need to wipe the walls, but I'll do it in a little like smiley setup. I don't want to be bossy, but I wouldn't, if it's loads of stuff on the floor, I'll be like, oh, there, and I'll just climb over, but it is what it is, But as long as they're not causing damage to the property, that I take, offence to. Yes. And that's the time I want to serve them a Section 21 notice, because you're causing damage to my property and that's a criminal offence.
Right. Thank you for sharing that, Gemma. And that's, that's important because, we don't know when we can be out of a home that we own and need to go into rented accommodation. And it's also really good to know how to talk to people, how to talk to landlords, and to get that relationship. So if there is a difficulty, you can talk about it in a good way without it getting abusive or physical abuse, because we don't want people getting harmed. No. And that's something that we need to talk about, because I'm sure physical harm is something as well that people feel they can do without any consequence. Yeah. One thing I would like to talk to you about is property shows and with black presenters. Why do you think representation is important on these shows? As particular shows that's people love watching.
Representation is so important, and to see black and brown people on these shows, it's amazing, because you need to see someone who is successful, or someone who's succeeded in the business idea, or in, like, obviously for myself, property world, who are succeeding and doing well. So you can relate to them. You see yourself in them. They inspire you to know that, oh, if they can do it, I can do it too. So it's great. Yeah, it's amazing. We as a family, especially with my late grandmother, she loved Homes Under the Hammer. Oh, that's my favourite program. And she loved, I can't remember his name, he's an ex-footballer, the black guy. Yeah, Grandma loved him. Yeah. She loved him, and we'd often hear her cackling, like, ha ha ha, when he comes on the screen, and she loved it. And she also loved A Place in the Sun with Scarlett? Yes. Yeah, she loved it as well. And it's definitely representation. You need it. And especially even now in 2024, you do need to see yourselves in these people, because it's good. It is good. And it's good for everybody. It's not just good for black people. No. It's good for everybody to see people in these particular professions, And I also think it educates others as well to know that, there are people like Gemma or anybody who you may know who are into property, or they are into whatever business, and they can do this, and they are knowledgeable, and you can speak to them and get help from them, because it's not just a certain clique, like I said earlier. It's not just a certain type of person who does it, like a suit wearing office person who is it, or like a swanky estate agent. It could be anybody, it could be anybody. So when you're walking around the supermarket, you never know who you're walking past. You never know who you're walking past. When you're in the local charity shop, you never know who you're walking past. It could be me. That is so true. That is so true. So Gemma, is prayer important to you in times of uncertainty? prayer is definitely important to me in times of uncertainty. I need to pray. You need to pray and talk things through with God. You need to, you can't do it by yourself. And I like to put it to God, see what he says, see how he can advise me and how he can guide me into making the right decisions. It could be looking at which tenant is best, or which builder to use, or even something simple like, do I need to use these tiles or that tiles? And it may not be a kneel down on the floor prayer. It could be in the tile shop, thinking, all right, please tell me which one it is that I need, just so it clears my head. It helps, doesn't it? Yeah. It helps. I also pray because I'm thankful. So, and not only when I'm uncertain, no, you can't do that. You need to show that you're thankful, show that you're grateful, show that you're abundantly blessed, So I pray a lot to say I'm thankful, because I know I am. I don't ever want it to be a thing where I'm not a fan of the word lucky. I don't think anything is luck. Nothing is luck. Definitely, I'm blessed, and I pray to thank God for my blessings, and I'm thankful for my praying grandparents, my praying mother, my praying aunts. Definitely.
I love everything that you're saying there, because that question just circles uncertainty.
Yeah.
But you're expressing that we need to be prayerful at all times,
Definitely.
Not just in challenging seasons, not just in uncertain times, We're not just like, I'm going to dial up Jesus now because I need help.
No.
I'm going through a really difficult patch. But it's that open communication, that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
And it's that relationship with Jesus that's important. And for both of us who are believers, and you might not be a believer watching this, but you might want to try, just having a conversation while you're washing up, and just saying, Lord, I'm just thankful for, my family. I'm thankful for a beautiful garden, just simple things like that, and just build up gradually.
That's it.
And in that you might actually find yourself going to church, so it's not, you have to kind of get a relationship.
Yeah, you do.
You
gradually.
Do. So,
and also, everyone's relationship is different. It doesn't have to be a cookie cutter relationship. So, you have your own relationship with God, with Jesus. Start, like as I said, start small, and be thankful for the little things. And then you can work up to the big things. However you want to, however you feel comfortable doing it. That's how I feel.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah,
I love that. So, for someone listening or viewing this podcast who aspires to be in the boardroom, what advice have you got for them?
Aspires to be in the boardroom. Well, my boardroom is my mum's kitchen table.
Well, it can be anywhere, can't it?
Be anywhere. So what advice would I give? Do you know what? It's my same advice all the way through. You need to research, you need to read, and you need to up your education. You need to, because you can't go into a boardroom and not know anything.
Right.
You can't. You need to know what you're going to go and talk to. You need to know what you're going to go into the boardroom with. So if anybody does ask you a question, you know that you are armed with the answers. You can't just turn up in the boardroom, because I can't just turn up in the boardroom on Canary Wharf and just sit there. It wouldn't work. I wouldn't know what to talk about. So you need to know. You need to have research. You need to read. You need to do a course if you want. Regarding courses, not every course is a good one, because a lot of free online resources you can use. Do not get caught out with some of these guys, these smarmy guys and some women online trying to sell these property courses. You don't need to go on them. You can if you want, but before you go on that, please, there's online courses with free resources that you can use. If you're interested in buy to let, if that's one of the strategies in property that you're interested in buy to let or HMOs, or if you're interested in doing developments or rent to rent, or it could be anything. There are online courses that you can find. There are books you can buy. There are magazines. There's different subscriptions you can get. If you there's so many different things you can do without spending thousands and thousands of pounds buying these courses where they would have taught you the same thing.
Right.
You can't. I have never been on a course. My mum and aunt's never been on a course. I did, like I said, have a mentor to help me systemize everything. The only course I am thinking of doing is a property management course, which is like letting agents, only because I just wanted some extra letters underneath my name, behind my name. That's the only thing, and that's just for me. However, you don't need to, just start small, start small, right, I've been thinking, I have enough money for a deposit, for example, and you can say, right, well, what I'll do, I will, look for a property. You can think, I don't want to get a flat because I don't really want to have it extra added expensive service charge and ground rent. So you think, all right, I'm going to find a house, a freehold property. You don't want a freehold house. And then with that, next, right, you can go there, look to see what needs to be done. You can say, right, the kitchen's okay, so you don't need to redo the kitchen. The bathroom's right, maybe needs a new bit of vinyl on the floor. And, do little small bits just to make it a nice kitchen, nice bathroom, lick of paint. If you need carpet on the stairs, you do that. So you know your budget and you'll work your way through. You don't overextend yourself, and you don't need to do too much.
I like everything you're saying. There's one word you mentioned, and for someone who's not kind of au fait or young, who doesn't know the term, freehold and leasehold. Okay. So what's the difference between a freehold and a leasehold? Okay, so a freehold is when, it's like a share of freehold, or a house could be a freehold house, where most houses are, where they're not owned by, the freehold is where you are the person who owns the house and the land. Share of freehold, it could be a block of flats, and normally, as a share of freehold, the individual flats in the property, in the building, they own a share of the freeholds of the building, so they've all got a say in how things are run and managed. And normally pay a property management company to manage the whole block. Leasehold is when, for example, like with myself, I have leasehold properties where Croydon Council, or it could be any council, but with myself, it would be Croydon Council, they own the block and the land, and then we have to pay service charge and ground rent towards, for Croydon Council to maintain the block. And the ground rent is basically rent for your flat that's in the building. Yeah. And some leases are for 99 years.
Yeah.
And so you have to look how long the lease is.
Finding out how long the lease is very important, because the lower the years are, the more expensive it becomes to extend your lease. Now, there's some companies out there who help you extend your lease. You really just need a valuer and a solicitor to do it. I have a property where I own a share freehold, where we have the upstairs, and we know the lady downstairs very well, but we all own the share freehold of the building. The lady downstairs wanted to sell her flat, however, the years on our lease very, very low.
Right.
And so she was having problems doing it. So since I've taken over, I was doing a remortgage from that same property, and then I was like, right, our years are very low. What we'll do, we'll extend our lease. Extend our lease how many more years, and then she'll be easy to sell it. And plus, because we're both doing it, it'll be cheaper for the both of us to do it, because we only need the one valuation and things like that. So
So what you're saying is work smart.
Yeah, not hard.
And not hard.
Yeah, you don't want to work hard. Working hard is good. Yes. Working hard is good.
You need to work.
Yeah, working is good, but you need to work smart. You don't overwork yourself.
Yeah. So what are your hopes for the future in terms of your property portfolio?
Oh, that would be telling, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but just disclose what you'd like to. So I've got a small thing going on.
So, what my hopes? Did you say?
What are your hopes for the future in terms of your property portfolio?
Okay, so continue systemizing the business.
Yeah.
Encouraging myself to keep providing safe homes for those who need it. Safe clean homes for those who need it. So yeah,
I love that. I love that. I just love Gemma's ethos with providing for her tenants clean and safe environments to live. And that's just basic self-respect, humanity.
It is, that's it. And also, a couple of years ago, I was really big, like I said, my family are really big into generational wealth.
Yes.
So I do like offer help and advice to people like on my Instagram, like people know that this is what I do. So
Gemma, I just want to say a really big thank you for coming on this podcast with us. And we just pray God's blessing on your business and all you're doing. And also the way that you're looking after your tenants and inspiring the next generation in the family to take on the responsibility of the property because it's all good and it's a real blessing to our family as a whole.
Aww.
So I just want to thank you. So I'm Esther Stapleton-Stone and this is In the Boardroom Podcast, and goodbye from me and goodbye from Gemma.
Bye.